Since because there's lots of military people here and we all know our rows, so maybe the people in the back up to the front so we can fill the front. You knew that was coming, right? Yeah, please come on up. Thank you. Yeah, don't read the old sheet.
Please be seated. I think you all know what a unique personality and individual Tracey was. And the piece of music that you're going to hear was chosen by her. So we'll just pause and give your attention to that piece of music. So, good afternoon and welcome to this time of remembering and of saying farewell to Tracey. Tracey was the wife of 36 years of Pierre, mom to Brandy and Elizabeth, grandma to Skyla, Destiny, and Benjamin, and a sister to Tony, Debbie, and Karen. She was also a friend of many of you locally and to those around the country and the world in the many places where she traveled with Pierre's postings. We welcome those who are able to join us online in this tribute to Tracey. Even though the weather outside is a little dreary, we gather in the warmth of this community, giving stubborn witness to our belief that in times of sadness, there's room for laughter. In times of darkness, there will always be light. May we hold fast to the conviction that what we do with our lives matters, just as Tracey did, and that a caring world is possible after all. Human life is built on caring, and that's what each of you is demonstrating by your presence here today. Now, each of you comes with your own memories of Tracey, for she was not the same person to any two people here, nor was she the same throughout her years with you, for she grew and she changed, as we all do. When I met with Pierre and learned a little bit about Tracey's life, I intended at first at this point to present a bit of her life story, but after some reflection, I realized that most of you here and those online would know that story well. So what I finally decided to do was to list all the aptitudes and qualities that would describe Tracey as a truly unforgettable person. So what follows is a cross between a list and a litany of sorts. Tracey was loved by all, by family, friends, and those she encountered. She was non-conforming. She illustrated unconditional love, compassion. She was brave, giving, putting family first. She was a non-complaining individual, loved by children, an addictive personality in a good way, and these angels are a testament to that. Pierre said that when she started something, she went all out. So she did. So make sure you get one of these as a reminder as you leave. She was steadfast in her opinions, non-judgmental, a lover of red wine and the friends she shared it with. She made her mark wherever she went and on whomever she was with. And this is only a short list. And although Tracey did not seek prestige or honor or fame, by your presence here today, you indeed honor her. I'm going to ask Pierre to come forward at this point.
I didn't think my turn was coming so quick. Yeah, quite often when we were the command team, and for the civilians that don't know what command team is, like a few of the ex-commanders that was right here, would be in front of a crowd and deliver a spiel or something, and the commander would always go first and say a speech or whatever the subject was of the day, and then once in a while, to throw a little bit of humor in there, I'd say what he said, and Al, thank you, because what you said was exactly what I was going to say almost. So well done. All right, so I did write a script because if I didn't, I probably would talk all day, all night. I could talk about Tracey till tomorrow, and then guarantee that the funeral home would charge me double or triple what the cost of this is, because I'd be here till tomorrow morning, and you guys probably be half asleep by 7 o'clock if I kept going. So I did write a script that I want to keep somewhat close to. So good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour à tous. Je vous remercie d'être ici pour célébrer la vie de Tracey. Je tiens à vous dire que le support et l'amour que vous m'avez offert à moi et à ma famille depuis les 2 dernières années, et surtout les dernières semaines, nous ont beaucoup aidés à passer à travers ces journées difficiles. Pour toute la famille et les amis francophones, ici aujourd'hui, je vais continuer en anglais le reste de mon discours. Mais ça me fait plaisir après la cérémonie de descendre en bas, de tout vous traduire ça puis de jaser, OK? Fait que gênez-vous pas si vous voulez quelque chose que je vous dise, vous me le dire, OK? Je pense pas que j'aurais la force de le dire 2 fois, en français et en anglais, OK? Fait que gênez-vous pas. I want to thank you all for being here today, and all of those who are joining us online to celebrate Tracey's life. Your unconditional support and love for me and my family during her battle with cancer, and especially the last few weeks, has been phenomenal. We would not have made it through this difficult time without you, and we are grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. Today we celebrate the life of a woman who dedicated her life to her kids, her family, and her friends. Those were the most cherished for Tracey. We honor the sacrifice that she made throughout her life to make her family, her friends, and even many strangers happy. That's what Tracey lived for. I knew Tracey had a way of connecting with people and that she left a lasting impression on many, many people. But until I read all the comments on Facebook after I posted her that, I was totally overwhelmed by the write-ups that were there. And they weren't just like a little write-up saying, rest in peace, which are very nice, my sincere condolences, which are very nice. But people took the time to write some really, really important passing in their life and their moment with Tracey in their life, how much it does touch. And it goes all the way back to the beginning of our career. And it was very gratifying to read and to know that she touched so many during her entire life. Because I even got some from her school, where she was in high school and even kindergarten, people that she was friend with that I've never met. But they touched us directly online. So it was just phenomenal. Most of you know how challenging it can be for family of military members. The many moves, having to find new job every time we move, making new friends, adjusting to new environment. These are just a few of the challenges that military life brings to a family. But none of these ever affected Tracey. She always made the best of every place we were posted to. The many comments about Tracey and the connection she made over the 37 years not only showed how resilient she was throughout those 37 years and adaptable, but highlight how important it was for her to make others happy. And those comments really reflected that. I am so thankful for all of those who took the time to write and share their moments with Tracey. There was well over 350 just on my own Facebook. And if I include the sisters' Facebook link, there was over 500 people, individuals that reach out and reach out to us and offer their condolences and their time and space with Tracey. It was just amazing. And I'm very grateful to see so many people here that I haven't seen in a long, long time that are here and took the time to do this. And I hope you all have time to come back downstairs, because I know at the beginning we didn't have a lot of time to talk and chat. But after, please just grab me and mingle. For those who know me, I kind of get lost in the crowd and I stick to one spot, but just come and grab me, right? So I want to see and talk to you all, you guys and girls. Tracey and our journey started 37 years ago in Trenton. Our life took us all over Canada and overseas. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into at that time. We were young. Tracey didn't drive at that time. Didn't know much about the military. Enough, we went to Germany. And she was ready to take it on, even from the get-go. No matter how many times I'd come to her over the years and tell her that we were moving, I'm off to another tour, a course, or tasking, she never wavered, always remained positive, making the best of every situation. It's because of her that throughout those 37 years, we met so many great people, and many are here today. Made so many friends and had so many great adventures and memories together, and I'll always be grateful to her for that. One of the most remarkable things about Tracey was her priority in life. Right to the end, she never stopped putting others first. Always made sure we didn't go without. She still gave me a list the last week of groceries to get, and we have more groceries for the next 2 years in the house. I'll tell you, I'm not kidding. I often enjoy that Tracey had an addicting personality, and you mentioned that, right? She never did anything halfway, ever. Right? When it came to work, even throughout all those years, she was able to adapt and was available to adapt to whatever was available to her, regardless of where we were posted, whether it was working in retail, placement agency, as a machinist. She did all sorts of jobs, like many of the military spouses do throughout their career and their life. And after her back injury in 2006, Tracey couldn't really work much anymore. She started her own. She even tried to crack at starting her own little business while we were in Greenwood. She was relentless, never gave up, never complained, and was happy with no matter what was in front of her, always. Her addictive personality extended in everything she did. I used to joke and call her my plastic queen all the time, because Tracey would start, within her addictive personality, she would start buying plastic, and she'd buy plastic and Tupperware, and she'd buy plastic, and she bought so much plastic, like we had it stored and moved it from one posting to another posting constantly and never used it. But in the end, it didn't matter much how much plastic we had, because she took greater pleasure in giving them away to those who needed it. And that's all she was. And I love her for that. After her back accident in 2006, she started crafting. Her first project were those little Christmas angel. She did those, and you know, like she couldn't work much, so you'd think that somebody would do maybe a dozen or 2 dozen or 3 dozen of them. We had like 2,500 of them. I'm not kidding you. And the last 2 years, she started doing different craft, and have a room full of craft, like, you know, like tons. And they're like, yeah. I joke with her buying tools over the years, and she made me buy tools for her craft in the last 3 years. So. Yeah. So she started making. She just started making those to occupy her time, because she couldn't work anymore. So Al mentioned those little angels. There's more if you haven't grabbed one. But for me, every time I'm going to see one of those, I'm going to be thinking of her. So please feel free to grab some. Take with you. They're small, and they hook nice on the Christmas tree.
I'm pretty sure we have more.
Yeah. Tracey's addictive personality also extended to the love of her family and her friends. She gave her all to all those who knew, love, and cherish. This was her number one. Family, friends, and her family, friends were her number one addiction in life, right? And I love her for that. Tracey gave me 2 beautiful daughters, Brandy and Elizabeth. And I love her for that. We have 3 amazing grandkids. 2 are here. When Brandy passed away in 2017, she did not hesitate for a second to adopt Skyla and Destiny, and I love her for that. Although she didn't speak French, and she tried many times taking courses and failed drastically, language was never a barrier for her. And she loved and connected with all my family members back in Montreal, and I love her for that. She also gave us a beautiful family, 2 of her sisters, Tony and Debbie and Karen, who passed away too soon, their kids and grandkids, a family filled with love for each other, and I love her for it. She gave me the very best 37 years of my life, and I love her for it. If Tracey were here today, her one hope would be that she inspired us, the sisters, the daughters, the nieces, the nephew, the friends, that love and caring for each other is more important than anything else in the world, and I love her for that. Tracey, baby. Your suffering is now over. Your journey ends knowing that you've accomplished so many wonderful things and created so many beautiful memories for us to remember you by. You can now look down on your family and friends and know a love and peace that you created and are the biggest part of it. I will always love you. Rest in peace, my love.
Now ask Destiny to come forward.
That's what you
My Nana Tracey was like an angel both in real life and now. She was always taking care of everybody. She would stop in the stores to just take a moment to talk to every stranger. She was always laughing. She was one of the strongest persons I've ever known. She took me and my sister in, and she was a great grandmother and a great role model to be like a mother. She took in me and my sister and these 2 girls down the street and loved them like they were her own grandparents almost. She was one of the most amazing people in the world.
I believe Margaret has prepared something.
Hi, everyone. It's clear that Aunt Tracey was very loved. My name's Margaret. I'm Auntie Tracey's niece, her older sister, Karen's second daughter. I'm just going to read. So my cousins, Courtney, Robbie, and Christine were not able to be here. It's my Auntie Debbie's children. And they say, we honor and remember Auntie Tracey, a brave, warm, and loving person. There are many fond memories of being with Auntie Tracey as we would see her over the years. She was so welcoming, and each time you'd see her, it would be like no time had passed. She was generous and loving, and being around her felt like being home. We think of her as smiling, laughing, and bright. This doesn't get any easier, does it? Sorry, guys. We will honor her memory by striving to be more like her. Kind, compassionate, and endlessly brave in the face of adversity. Her sense of humor and positive attitude, even through hard times, was something to be admired. She is loved and missed by us all. Sorry, guys. So this is coming from my Auntie Debbie, Auntie Tracey's younger sister. Growing up, we were called the Smith girls, the Smith sisters, or Maggie's girls. Karen, Tracey, Debbie, and Tony. 4 girls, 1 bathroom. Tracey was a girly girl and never went out without first putting on her makeup. Sometimes we were lucky to be able to wash our face. Boy, did this ever cause fights. We grew up in Powell River, a small town about 100 kilometers from Vancouver on the Sunshine Coast. The town was isolated, and you can only get in by plane, ferry, or Jesus boots. Tracey was a typical teenager of the late 70s, early 80s, except she was not that smart. She got caught smoking, drinking, hitchhiking, and sneaking out. I think Karen and Tony had a lot to do with her getting caught. Don't ever tell your sisters what you were up to, as they will tell on you every time. She had a lot of good friends growing up and was still in touch with them. Our mom died in 1985, and because of this, 4 of us got really close. We were all we had. Tracey and her Dottie, I was looking at Brandy. Tracy and her daughter Brandy moved to Trenton in 1988 to live with Karen and to try to have a better life. She met Pierre and their love story started. They moved to Germany, and luckily Karen did too, so they were together. We managed to stay in touch, and though visits were not as much as we would have liked, as we were all raising kids and working. Tony and I did manage to get to Greenwood for Tracy's 50th birthday. It was the first time we had all been together for about 15 years. They moved to Winnipeg, and in 2016, Tracey got cancer. We were all in a better position to travel and got to see so much more of each other. Tracey was a fighter, and although she was going through treatment, the visits were full of laughter. We were able to be there for almost every chemo and for her surgery. Tracey had her surgery, and Tony spent the night at the hospital with her. Tracey has a button to push every time she felt pain, and she would get morphine. She abused her responsibility and used up most of her supply in a couple hours. She was as high as can be, throwing hard candies at Tony to wake her up, and talking to a non-existent Chinese lady and cat on her bed. Poor Tony got no sleep. Tracey still believed they were there. On September 1st, 2017, Brandy was killed in Vancouver. We were together again, helping her and Pierre organize her funeral. She was so strong, thinking about everyone else but herself. And we all got through it. At the end of October, we were all back in Winnipeg celebrating Tracey's last chemo and finally cancer-free. The next few years, they settled in Carleton Place and enjoyed life with their grandkids. We visited and celebrated life. January 2023, the cancer came back with a vengeance, and Tracey was ready to fight it with all she had. We came in February and April and had a great time together. What we didn't know was Karen was dying. Karen was diagnosed with bone cancer and died within a month. Tracey drove out several times to support her, even though she was sick from the chemo. At the end of September 2023, the doctors told her to get her affairs in order as the cancer has spread to her brain and gave her 3 to 6 months. They tried a new treatment, and at the end of December, it was working. We planned a trip to Mexico in April and had the time of our lives. In August, 3 of my grandsons and I took her to Niagara Falls. We were up till 2 enjoying all the entertainment and back up early to see the falls. We had a great time and the kids loved their time with her. My daughter's 4 kids and I came back for her 62nd birthday and had so much fun. Tracey taught them all to gamble. She taught them to eat cake for breakfast. She taught them that time was precious and to live life every day as if it was your last. That was my sister Tracey. Strong, loving, crazy, funny, and kind. I love you, Tracey, and thank you, Pierre, for making her so happy every day of her life. So I just want to say, Auntie Tracey was like a second mother to me, a little bit. It's like there's a lot of military in my family, so we bounced around a lot. Sometimes we lived close to each other, sometimes not so much. So there would be times where years would go by, we wouldn't see each other, but that didn't matter. She was always so consistent. As like at least when I was growing up, she was so consistently positive and selfless and funny. Her and my mother, I feel, were the closest of the 4 sisters. Like, the 4 sisters were a solid unit. And it's something I admire and I envy. I envy that type of connection between siblings. But Mom and Tracey were the closest in age. And in my opinion, they looked the most alike. And I only learned as I got older, I didn't realize they were such best friends. Or, I mean, I knew they were, but even going through adolescence and so, you know, like there's been a lot of hardship in this family, and something I always admired about Auntie Tracey is she was always like, you know, don't dwell on it. Look at a way to laugh about it, I guess, humor. I'm sorry if I'm rambling. But like I said, she was like a second mom to me. She reminds me so much of my mom. And I feel that even though there were times we were apart, I feel like she has helped shape who I've become. And I feel that I can learn from Auntie Tracey, and I feel like she's something I can strive for. And I've said this before, but if I could be even 10% of the woman that she was, that would be a privilege and an honor. Anyway, thank you for listening.
I'll ask Stephen to make his way forward, please.
I'll try not to take this too far off the rails. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Stephen Graylon. I was Tracey's nephew. and also known as the handsome one. We're here today to celebrate the life of a woman who truly embodied the phrase, "You don't know what you've got until it's gone." And I think we all feel that now. But let's not focus on the sadness. Instead, let's take a moment to remember the woman who could light up any room just by entering it, and occasionally by leaving it too. She had that sort of dramatic flair. Tracey was the person who made us laugh when we needed it the most. You didn't have to look far to find her cracking a joke or telling a story that left you either in stitches or rolling your eyes. She had a unique way of making even the most mundane seem exciting. A trip to the grocery store with her wasn't just about buying eggs or milk. Oh no, it was an adventure. You never knew if you'd end up with a new life philosophy, a random fact about hummingbirds, or a 10-minute rant about how she was convinced the cashier was judging her choice of cereal. Tracey had an uncanny ability to make us all feel like we were part of something bigger. She wasn't just an aunt. She was a superhero. She was able to ignore what was happening inside of her body and take care of her family without an ounce of hesitation. Cancer may have taken her from us far too soon, but it didn't stand a chance against the legacy of laughter and love she leaves behind. If she was here, she'd probably even tell us to stop being sad and make sure everyone leaves with a laugh and possibly a snack too. So let's just remember her for the incredible aunt, mother, sister, and friend and woman that she was. And when we miss her, and we will, let's just think of something she would say, or maybe a joke that we can roll our eyes at. Because if she taught us anything, it's that life is too short to take too seriously, but too precious not to laugh through. We love you, Tracey, and may you forever be the punchline to the best joke we never want to forget. Thank you all.
At this point, if anyone else has a short memory or a story they'd like to present, I encourage them to come forward.
I'm sorry. Sorry for my English. Thank you. It was hard for me to speak with Tracey because my English is not that good.
OK. Ceux qui t'entendent t'attendent, hein? Tu peux dire en français si tu veux ou pas vous aider?
Non, c'est correct.
Between our two Franglish, we get it.
No, so I just want to say that it was hard to speak English and to have a long conversation with her, but she was always a model and a superhero because she was strong.
Entends-toi.
She was strong and funny, and even what happened to her, she was always there to make us comfortable and like we feel at home with her. So thank you, Tracey, for everything. And it was you are a model of strong and of love, because when I see you and Uncle Pierre, I see love every time. It was true love between you two.
Thank you. Merci, Ben. T'es bien fini. C'est bien gros.
I know there are probably other memories and stories, and I invite you to bring them to the reception, which will follow this service. We're now going to listen to a piece of music that was chosen by the family. These are the words from the reading that is on the card for some of you received when you came in to the funeral home today. It's a poem called Footprints in the Sand. One night I dreamed I was walking along the beach with the Lord. Scenes from my life flashed across the sky. In each I noticed footprints in the sand. Sometimes there were 2 sets of footprints, other times there was only one. During the lowest times of my life, I could see only 1 set of footprints. So I said to the Lord, you promised me that you would walk with me always. Why then, when I have needed you most, would you leave me? The Lord replied, my precious child, I love you and would never leave you. The times when you have seen only 1 set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. I'm going to ask their nephew, Jeffrey, to come forward now to read a final poem.
Hi. I'm Jeff. I'm Tony's youngest son. Poem is, I don't know the name of it, but feel no guilt and laughter. She'd know how much you care. Feel no sorrow in a smile that she is not there to share. You cannot grieve forever. She would not want you to. She'd hope that you could live your life the way you always do. So talk about the good times, the way you showed you cared, the days you spent together, all the happiness you shared. Let memory surround you, a word someone may say will suddenly recapture a time, an hour, or a day that brings her back as clearly as though she were still here and fills you with the feelings that she is always near. For if you keep those moments, you will never be apart. She will live forever, locked safely in your heart. Thank you.
Just a reminder, there's a reception to follow this service in the reception area towards the front door and down to the right. And don't forget to pick up your angel. Tracey, your life we honor, your departure we accept, your memory we cherish. As we say goodbye, there's gratitude for your life. We are truly grateful for the privilege of having shared life with you. Rest now at the end of your days. Rest in the hearts and minds of all those who love you. So with love, we will leave you in peace, and with respect, we say our fond farewells. May your love be reflected in all who knew you and may continue to live on through the lives of those you leave behind. Your legacy is the memory of a love and a great example in a life well lived. So enter into the freedom of the wind and the sunshine. We let you go into the dance of the moon and the stars. We let you go into the breath of the wind. We let you go into the sadness and smiles of our memories. We let you go. Go safely, go with love in your heart, and may you forever be at peace. So let us leave this place in peace and look to the morning, assured that tomorrow the sun will rise. Life gives and life takes away. May you find support in your memories and strength in your caring and your respect for one another. And this is a benediction for Tracey. Be real. Don't put on a show. God doesn't judge you based on what other people think. Do good. Go about your work. Don't worry about who gets the credit. Live as Tracey lived. The service for Tracey is now complete. We leave with another piece of music chosen by the family. Her angel up there on the pulpit.